Void Interactive, developers of upcoming tactical first-person shooter Ready or Not, a spiritual successor to the SWAT series, have decided to bend the knee to hatred and prove yet again that Kotaku's bully tactics work. At the very least, so long as there remain spineless developers willing to kowtow to every demand of the mainstream gaming media rather than simply tell them to get stuffed. And I know what you're thinking. Hell, you're probably screaming it at the screen right now. Arch, you are being way too harsh to Void Interactive here. Their statement was not that bad, and they're only removing one tiny little insignificant piece of scenery, something in a literal trash can in their game. It's not that big of a deal. And you know what? You are right. But so am I. Because weakness is a provocation, and if Void Interactive, as they have proven here, is willing to acquiesce to demands made so long as you call them racist, bigoted, or alt-right, why the hell not accuse them of those very self-same thing, in the hope that they'll finally realise these accusations hold no goddamn power because nobody believes them. In fact, the worst part is, they even mentioned themselves. It is worth noting that we were cautious about issuing a statement to Kotaku, given that in the past they have produced articles with misleading headlines regarding our mutual split with publisher Team 17. The developers are aware that Kotaku is a lying rag, and yet they still choose, mind you, to lend credence to their accusations by deciding to replace the problematic item here. The problematic item, by the way, is this. It is a little box with the text "Red Pill" on it and "Noggin Joggers." This is the racism and the bigotry and the alt-rightedness right here. A box. And to make it worse too, they insist, regarding the Red Pill box specifically, these were intended solely as a reference to the Matrix movie. Okay? And Noggin Jogger is slang for an activity or challenge that messes with the mind and is commonly used as a reference to complex puzzles or brain teasers. Fair enough. In fact, I would say that is an entirely reasonable explanation, but why then have you chosen to replace them, and why does the contractor no longer work for you? Did you fire this person, this member of your diverse team of developers and contractors for a Kotaku hit piece? Because if you did, you are even more pathetic than your post leads on. And again, am I being harsh? Sure, but view it this way. Every single time this happens, and it has been happening for a decade now, every time this happens, the developer specifically choosing to acquiesce to the demands made, choosing to recognize them as anything except the absurd drivel that it is, gets out a nice big bucket of paint and paints a huge red target on the back of the next guy who is going to be attacked by a Kotaku article. Because obviously, you have proven that this is an effective tactic. Why, on God's good green earth, would they stop? These people hate you. That's what you need to understand, Void Interactive. These people hate you. Specifically you, the developers, because of what you are making. You are making a game based around the police, which they loathe and despise every part of. It is a civil organization. It is an idea, a concept that they actually genuinely cannot accept to existing. You think I'm blowing things out of proportions? I'm being hyperbolic? I'm being insane? Don't fall for its cuteness. Growlithe is a cop. Growlithe is a pig who will rat you out. This is not a joke article. It goes on to explain exactly why Growlithe is a bad thing, because he's a police officer. This might seem stupid and frivolous, but it's not. How many times have you seen videos of cops pulling someone over just to give them an ice cream? Lol. Abuse of power is totally random, bestie. This is not a joke. This is the actual genuine belief of the people you are trying to appease. It is not going to work. We know this because we have seen it again and again and again, and again, and again, and again. It is a pattern. And let me point out as well, let me just, here. This is the Kotaku article that they have decided to surrender to. Controversial Steam bestseller Ready or Not is an unsettling SWAT fantasy. Tactical and plain edgy propaganda mix in Void Interactive's incomplete shooter. Controversial Steam bestseller. It is only a controversy because Kotaku has decided to make it one, and Void Interactive has decided to play along with it. I'm just going to read you the first 4 odd paragraphs here, okay? Because no commentary, I'm just going to read these 4 paragraphs to illustrate the kind of article this is. Ready or Not is a tactical horror game where you creep through sprawling maze of American decay searching for violent suspects amid cowering bystanders. Steam currently loves it, but after spending a few hours with it, I can't say I do. At its best, it's an admirably tense puzzle game punctuated by twitchy shootouts, but it is also a violent political fantasy with no capacity for self-interrogation. Developed by New Zealand-based Void Interactive, Ready or Not puts you in the boots of American law enforcement tasked with bringing order to the chaos of a failed state being torn apart by economic stratification and crime. Your tools for pacification includes assault rifles, shotguns, submachine guns, and of course an endless supply of military-grade zip ties. Deployed across poor neighborhoods, car dealerships, and gas stations, your job is to methodically breach and clear labyrinth-sized levels until all of the bad guys are in custody or dead. Fail to execute each encounter according to the proper rules of engagement, and you'll be chastised with failing grades at the end of each level, like a badge scored in Dance Dance Revolution. Even before it blew up on Steam, Ready or Not sparked controversy and lost its publisher after one of its developers seemingly recommitted to adding a school shooting level. Players on the game's Discord fantasized about which gear they'd use to hunt down the shooter in the prospective scenario. Void Interactive eventually weighed in to reassure everyone it would handle such traumatic content with care, but after playing through a handful of the game's existing maps, I am doubtful. I'll let you off the hook there. It goes on. Oh boy, does it go on. And it is just as bad every step of the way. And yet, that is one of the most dishonest piece of writing I have ever seen in my life. And I am doing this as a job. My bar is pretty gosh darn high, and yet this leaps handily over each and every single one of them. It does. It pole vaults into the stratosphere before coming back as a meteor. I particularly like Ready or Not is a tactical horror game where you creep through sprawling mazes of American decay, search for a violent suspect amid cowering bystanders. They make the game sound like it is a horror take on Judge Dredd, rather than playing the SWAT team, you know, the people sent in to save people in only the most extreme scenarios where every other tactic and strategy of policing, pacification, and peaceful resolution have already failed. Again, I remind you, Void Interactive, these people you are surrendering to hate you. And I'm not using that word lightly. It is a goddamn buzzword at this point. It is used to describe everything. Hell, you're guilty of it yourself, Void Interactive. We have no intention for any for it or any other games we may produce to be a conduit for hate. What does that mean, Void? Tell me specifically, Void Interactive, what does conduit for hate mean? You can't tell me. I couldn't tell you, because it means nothing these days. But what I can tell you for absolute certain is that this person hates you. You specifically, developer. Your game specifically, developer. Not ironically, not in a joking sense. Even this is not acceptable to them. You starting to get the message yet? I goddamn hope so, because this is not helpful. It's not going to help you, and it certainly is not going to help the next poor bastard down the line who is going to get attacked for this, and for doing something else completely harmless and completely innocuous. You are enabling this, and goddamn it, I know, right? I'm being a bit heated about this, but it annoys me, all right? And I'm right. I am correct when I'm saying that this is an enabling tactic. You have seen their point. You have acknowledged their point. You have agreed to their point by deciding to remove it, even whilst acknowledging that they are liars. You have looked at the lie. You have looked the liar in the eye and said, I know you are a liar. I know you have my worst. I know you want the worst for me. I know you hate me. I know you've lied about me previously. But I choose to accept your lie. I choose to change based on your lie. This literal comic. Literally this. Now, hopefully, they will understand what they're doing and not do anything else. Leave it at that. Or even better, what you should be doing is simply putting out a statement saying, we're making a game. We don't have a political opinion. Our game does not have a political message beyond the police is necessary, which is a political opinion in this day and age of all cops are bastard. Beyond that, we have no political alignment, we have no political intentions, we make no political statement, we have no interest in engaging in this discussion whatsoever. Also, P.S. Kotaku are lying sons of whores. End. And you would be roundly and rightfully applauded for that. Instead, I read through the comments here on Twitter. Nearly all of them are basically shaking their heads going, stop surrendering to crazy people. You are not making yourself look very good here. Kotaku writes bullshit about game like normal. Void fixes bullshit, complains, and makes a wall to say sorry to Kotaku, the player base. And you know what? I'm going to leave it at that. I am going to leave it at that. It's a nice, scathing little message. Because, well, here's a personal message, in fact. A personal message to the racists, to the bigots, and the alt-righters at Void Interactive. Stop kowtowing to propagandists, or I guess I'm just going to have to call you racists, bigots, and alt-righters, because apparently it gets results. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.